This is Module 2, Lesson 5, Rotations. This one's going to be done a little differently because I kind of need to show you something with some paper. First off, we're going to be talking about rotations. They are congruence transformation, and what you're going to get is going to be a figure that's congruent to what you started with. You see how it says rotation? It's got an A in it. Rotation means you're going around. You're going around some center. You're moving something around the center of rotation. Now, if you would, in your packet, to turn to page 8, and we're going to talk about this a little bit. A rotation is a turn around a fixed point. The fixed point is called the center of rotation. See here, we've got a figure that's being turned. As always, if you have a pre-image, you don't have any tick marks. There's A, B, and C. If I turn it around the center of rotation, A would go to here. See how you've got your arrow? A would go to here. It's going around the center, bringing A to A prime. This is your pre-image, this is your image. B would go around, same thing. It would wind up here at B prime, okay? And C would go to C prime. We're turning all of these the same number of degrees around the circle, around the center of rotation, to get to their new points. Now, there's rules that you can follow, but I'm going to tell you guys, your problem with the rules is everybody I've known has forgotten the rules when they've gotten to testing. So although we'll talk about the rules, I just want you to see that it's a lot easier if you actually do this. Okay, so we're going to start with this one right here. This is number 1. We are going to do this. We're going to rotate this 90 degrees counterclockwise. Now we started here. They gave us a figure PQR with these vertices, P, Q, and R. The first thing you do is you plot them. You know this is your x-axis, and you know this is your y. On your x-axis, this is a positive direction, just like a number line. This is your negative direction. On your y-axis, going up is positive, going down is negative. So let's plot our 3 points. P is at 3, 7. So we go 1, 2, 3 on the x-axis, then up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's your P. Q, you go out 8 on the x-axis, then up 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then up 1. R, you go out 1 and up 2, okay? Now, they want us to do a 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation. What you're going to do is you're going to use a thin piece of paper. We call it patty paper. If you want to get some, contact me. We'll make sure we get you some. If you're in my class, that is. Now we've got PQR. What we're going to do is we're going to trace PQR on this paper. You should be able to see through it and see that we can see PQR through it. First, trace off your axes so you know where these are, and you want to make sure you know where this origin is. And let's go ahead and let's put our points here. There's Q, here's P, here's R. And I need to move this around the center of rotation 90 degrees counterclockwise. Counterclockwise is this way. 90 degrees is 1/4 of a turn. Okay? Think about it. If you got 360 degrees and you got all of these quadrants here, if you divide your 360 by 4, each of these quadrants is 90 degrees. So I'm moving it 1 quadrant. Okay? I'm turning it 1 quadrant. Line it up. Make sure that you've got the origin right here. That's going to be your center of rotation. You've got your X and Y axis lined up with what you've got marked on your thing. And turn this 1 turn around. Now make sure it's lined up. Okay? And then what you can do is you can pull up your paper and put dots here where each one of these dots are. Okay? Do the same with R. Then put your paper up here so you know where your points are supposed to be. R is here. I've got it. P is here. Got it. P prime. Q is there. Q prime. Okay? And you can draw off your lines if you want to. And that shows you the figure that you would get if you were rotating it 90 degrees counterclockwise. Well, over here they ask me for the coordinates. If I'm looking for the coordinates, all I have to do is read them off the chart. Where is P prime? It's at -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, positive 3. Negative 7, positive 3. Where's Q prime? It's at negative 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Negative 1, 8. Where's R prime? It's at negative 2, 1. Okay? Now you're going to notice that I've got a lot more lines here than you might have because some of these, when we copied them, didn't pick up all the lines. I don't know why. You're going to need to draw in all the lines. All of these should have 8 lines on this side, 8 lines on this side, 8 up here, 8 down there. Okay, so draw them in if you don't have them. In fact, they should look just like the ones on page 9 of your packet, where I think you do have them all drawn in. So what have we done when we rotated this 90 degrees counterclockwise? We started with our x and y, so let's look at P. It was at 3, 7. When I ended, I've got on P prime negative 7, 3. What I did is I swapped my x and y values, didn't I? And I changed the y to the opposite of what's there. If it's positive, it's now negative. If it were negative, it would have been now positive. Okay? So I start with my x, y, and I'm going to an opposite of y, x, right? That's what I'm doing. Let's look at number 2. And guys, again, you need to draw off all the lines that you don't have here. And let's see what we can do with this. Okay? First, it asks you to plot quadrilateral W, X, Y, Z. And here are your vertices. W is at 2, 3. So we start here at the origin. We go on the 2-axis 2, on the x-axis 2, and the y-axis 3. So there's W. X is at 5, 8. Here we are at the origin. Go 5 on the x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's your x. Y is at 7, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's y. And Z is at 8, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. There you go. Okay? W, X, Y, Z. There's your figure. Now, if you're rotating at 180 degrees, does it matter which way you go? Because if you start here and you go 180 degrees, it's going to put you there. If you start here and go this direction 180 degrees, it's going to put you there. You wind up in the same place either way. So 180 degrees doesn't usually tell you which direction. What we can do here, though, is we need to rotate it 180 degrees. That's halfway around. So you put your paper there. You need to sketch off your x-axis and your y-axis so you know where they are whenever you're trying to line up your paper. And then you sketch off your figure. Put your letters there, your point letters there, so you know where they are whenever you rotate it. 180 degrees is halfway around. Okay, so there's 90 degrees, there's 180. Now let's just make sure we're completely lined up with where we're supposed to be. Okay? Then all you've got to do is go underneath your paper and draw in your points. Okay? Move your paper so you can see where your coordinates go. Here's your W. So that's W prime. That would be Z prime. That would be Y prime. That would be X prime. How do I figure out what the coordinates are? Well, let's see. We read them off the chart. W prime's at negative 2, negative 1, 2, 3. Okay? X prime is at negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Negative 5, negative 8. Y prime is at, if you count this, it's going to be negative 7, negative 6. And Z prime is at negative 8, negative 2. Okay? How does that fit into a rule? Well, if I start with 2, 3, and my W prime's at negative 2, negative 3, I've kept my X, I've kept my Y, but I changed their signs. I've said the opposite of X, the opposite of Y. XY becomes the opposite of X, the opposite of Y. If it were positive, it would become negative. If it were negative, it would become positive. Okay? Let's skip these two because I don't want to have to draw any more lines for you. Okay? I want to come down here to 8, all right? I'll show you 6 in just a minute. We had some issues with 6, so I'm going to have to show it to you in a minute. Let's look at number 8, the 270-degree counterclockwise. We'll do that one, okay? If I have a square, FGHI with these vertices, and they want to go 270 degrees counterclockwise. Counterclockwise is this way. So let's draw off the original. F is at negative 5, 7. That is negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you go up 7. G is at 0, 6. 0 and up 6. H is at negative 1, 1. Negative 1, 1. I is at negative 6, 2. Here's your negative 6. And then you go up 2, okay? There's your figure. So what we do is we sketch it off if we're going to be rotating it. We draw off our axes. There's the x-axis. Here's the y-axis. Okay? Now we draw off our figure. All right. Now, we're going to need to rotate it, okay? And we're rotating it 270 degrees counterclockwise. That's 1 turn, that's 2 turns, that's our 3 turns right there, okay? You'd put your thing underneath here, you draw your points, and then you come back here and look at it. Label it based on what you've got. Now, where's F prime? F prime is now at 7, 5, okay? G prime is at 6, 0. H prime is at 1, 1. I prime is at 2, 6, okay? So what have I done? Let's take this point here, F, which is at negative 5, 7. I go from negative 5, 7 to 7, 5, okay? Let's look at this, 7, 5. What have I done? I've swapped my X and Y, haven't I? And I've made this one the opposite of what it was. So I've swapped my X and Y. Y and the X changes signs, doesn't it? Okay? Opposite of X. Put that over here on your thing. Y opposite of X. It should be Y opposite of X. Okay? Now, I've got a few others worked out here for you if you want to get the answers. I want to make sure they're here so you can see them. Make sure you've got the coordinates that are there so you can find them. Let's see. And I'm just going to do this slowly up so you can see it. And you can come back to this if you want to later. And I'll show you number 6. I've got it. No, I don't have it on another page. I've got the numbers for you on another page. Here's number 6 if you want to see the numbers for it. They're right there. Okay. That covers everything that's from this particular lesson, guys. Just wanted to make sure you knew how to rotate figures.